Let's talk about gaming boredom. Is there a game you used to love playing, but for some reason just isn't the same? Maybe you beat the game, or maybe your friends stopped playing it, or maybe you aren't up to the skill level of other players anymore. And who can blame you with the amount of sweaty basement dwellers lurking in every game now? And then you think to yourself, how do I revive the enjoyment from the game I once loved? And for so many, the same answer springs to mind. Challenge runs.
That's right. So what is a challenge run? What does it consist of? What's the idea behind it? And how does it make a game more fun?
Well, for some people it doesn't. It might even ruin the experience for others. Some may attempt challenge runs that are so excruciatingly difficult they depress themselves with their self-inflicted defeat. Some poor lonely souls do beat the game under these sad, sad restrictions, without taking any damage, using a weapon, sometimes beating it blindfolded. And while this is impressive on the surface, it's actually very sad, considering the weeks, months, and sometimes even years in the extreme cases of in-game time to beat. And that has not been fun for the player, I can assure you.
Push it to the other end of the spectrum though. People who set the bar too low and are unsurprisingly underwhelmed when beating it. Some may even give up halfway through, not because they can't progress, but because they won't out of boredom with the game.
But what happens if you do complete the challenge run? Well, nothing. Aside from your own personal feeling of accomplishment for 30 seconds. And then when that evaporates, it's, oh my god, I can't believe I spent 200 hours attempting to beat this game with a soup ladle.
What have I done?
So what's the solution to the problem? How do we make these games fun and entertaining again? A simple answer, online co-op.
That's right, online co-op. The thing that can turn any 3 out of 10 game into a 7 out of 10 at least. The fun, the excitement, turning every encounter into some epic battle scenario, creating these wonderful memories whilst having the same experience with someone on the game. Absolutely brilliant. Just brilliant.
See, we've designed a run so entertaining, so engaging, with just the right amount of difficulty that any relatively casual player can beat. We've never seen anybody else really do this, and we can't understand why.
The challenge is this. Can you and a friend beat the game together without dying once? So, what are the rules and restrictions? Well, if you and a friend beat Fallout 76 together whilst neither of you dying a single time, you can be downed, revived, as many times as you like. It doesn't have to be by your teammate either. You can receive help from people online, either in the help of combat or receiving gifts. But if you don't want to play with others besides your teammate, you can always just play on a private server. But either way is fine. If you die, you must create a brand new character in order to attempt the challenge again.
It doesn't mean your teammate has to reset if you die though. They can either wait for you to catch up or assist you with the early game. And it goes without saying that no cheats should be allowed either. That's just basic common sense. Otherwise, what's the point in even attempting the run? Oh, and what do we consider beating Fallout 76? Well, it's open to interpretation, but we would consider you to have beaten the game once every boss and mini-boss has been defeated at least once. That ranges from a Wendigo, to the Sheep Squatch, to the Scorch Beast Queen, the Ultrasight Titan. Although, complete the main quests as well, and fire the nukes yourself to make it really count. You could also do this challenge solo, and it is by no means restricted to co-op, but we find that every game is just more enjoyable with online co-op and a teammate to share the excitement with.
And that's it. Just don't die, and don't cheat. Simple.
Now the two of us have actually beat the run, and it took us something like 30 attempts, so we can confirm that the run is definitely not easy, is doable, but one thing for sure is we had a lot of fun playing it, and you guys will too if you decide to give it a try.
In these videos, we are going to share with you how we beat the run, our strategy, our advice, and some tips and tricks you won't normally see from other players' videos.
So without any more waffling, strap yourselves in as we tell you the story of how two heroes beat Fallout 76, no death.
this is really the prologue to the first episode, because in this video we're going to be talking about the deaths, fails and struggles we had with this run.
I think a big amount of our ambition boiled down to how well we did in our first attempt.
Yeah, our first attempt was big. To paint the picture for you guys, imagine the two of us both completely new to Fallout, no idea what we were doing, just aimlessly following the story. And bear in mind, we were attempting this challenge run with absolutely no idea what was in the game, no idea what was really dangerous. I was using a double-barrel shotgun, purely because of the damage stat on the weapon being eons above any other weapon we had found. Connor, you were using a hunting rifle, weren't you?
Yeah, I was using a hunting rifle.
Yeah. Anyway, somehow we make it to level 46, without even knowing what power armor is yet.
We make it to a savage divide and spot some winged creature down the mountain below us. It gets out of our sight before we can see what it is. We'd heard stories in Appalachia about the Mothman existing, so like any other beginner to the game, we were desperate to hunt it down and see it for ourselves.
We get to this lake at the bottom of the mountain, and can't see this creature again. Then suddenly this ominous music starts playing. I turn to Connor and say, "Why do I hear boss music?"
We turn around and are met by the Mothman with red eyes, which we later discover to be the vengeful Mothman, right, Ewan?
Yeah, vengeful Mothman. One of the more difficult ones, apparently.
We fought it hard and got to half health, and then when you got down, he asked me if I could revive you, but in the heat of battle, you hadn't realised yet that I was already downed. And as we waited those painful 30 seconds of bleeding out, realising no one would come to save us, we felt oddly happy. Happy we had made it this far with our first attempt, which, to be fair, was quite an impressive piece of dumb luck.
It certainly was. But our second attempt was when we learned just how difficult this game can really be. This time, we're about level 20, in a fight in the Garahad Mining Headquarters car park. As you would expect from a car park, there's cars. What we didn't expect from those cars was for them to be more deadly than anything we had ever fought before. We didn't expect them to have self-draining health bars or run on nuclear power. And of course, we found all of this out the hard way. We used a car for cover against the robot fire, and it took some beating. Once we killed every robot in the car park, we did the classic. Look at the Pip-Boy, check the loot, heal up. We assumed, because no more damage was being done to the car, it would be fine. We were wrong. And that was the end of our second run. After that, it was attempt after attempt, each one only making it to about level 15. We had lost it all. Dying to traps hidden in office buildings, houses, and schools. Mines scattered in random fields and towns. Exploding robots, more cars, super mutants, even Mothman cultists.
We can't forget about fall damage either. We decided to take a break for a while and come back to the game a few weeks later, ready to try again. This was where we had one of our most iconic moments ever in Fallout. Here we are, two dumb level 20 fools on a cliff edge overlooking the Red Rocket megastop, deciding whether we should climb down or not when out of nowhere this scorch beast flies up from the bottom of the cliff, perching on the edge, ready to attack. Now, this was our first encounter with the scorch beast, excluding the one from Morgantown. So naturally, being two low levels who still hadn't obtained power armor who encounter a giant flying screeching beast, we ran. We scale our way down the mountain, darting into the megastop's bathrooms and hiding in a cubicle each. We hear it fly away and slowly creep out of the cubicles, turning around to find two skeletons in the bathroom, one in each cubicle we had hidden. And I can remember us laughing and joking about it at the time, like, oh, this could have been us, or maybe in another attempt.
And that's just a perfect example of why this run can be so fun and exciting. The encounter we had would have never been so intense if the stakes weren't as high. Just think of it on a normal run. You would die, get your stuff back, and then just get thrown right back into the fight, probably to die of few more times. If we died here, though, on this run, you're looking at about 3 or 4 hours. Down the drain. Soul crushing. So then it's much more immersive when we're screaming and panicking, gripping onto our guns for dear life and shouting at each other. Are we safe in here? Or is it gone? Both knowing neither of us had the answers to these questions.
We come back and visit sometimes to reminisce over our own mistakes and the mixed emotions of fun, fear, and fortune we had. Now, you're probably wondering how we died on this run, so I'll let Ewan tell you the tale.
There I was, on a covert operation at the White Spring. Never been there, probably about level 30 at the time, and still no power armor. Connor was sceptical about this massive golf course because he was warned by others about the dangers it could bring, so he decided to stay at base and work on the farm we had. I was going by the principle of if it was in the forest region, it was safe enough. How wrong I was. Apart from the ghouls, the first thing I encountered was a White Spring Mr. Handy Gardener with a white health bar. As we said before, we were both new to Fallout, so neither of us had any sense to know this Mr. Handy came in peace. I assumed that in this cruel Fallout world, no robot was truly your friend, but an enemy waiting to strike. Maybe he just hasn't seen me yet. So I open fire on this robot and I kill him with ease. I feel confident. I look around for a bit, killing everything in my path, until I come up against a sentry bot at the main door. And he tore me to shreds. I survived, of course, because I'm built different. And when I finally lost him, I decided, that's enough of this place. I'm getting out of here. Now, the $1,000,000 question. How do I get back to base? Do I A. Fast travel, B. Fight my way through one of the entrances, or C. Wait for backup from Connor?
Which would have never happened, by the way.
A, B, or C. Time's ticking, pal. Beep, beep, beep. And your answer is...
If you pick B, you've got some nerve. And so do I. Well, I march my way up to one of the side entrances and there's 2 Assaultrons there. And at the time, I had no idea what an Assaultron was. It tore me to shreds. Oh, there's no second part to this, it literally killed me. Yeah, that one was hard to tell, Connor.
I think after that one we took a well-deserved break.
But you didn't. You still thought you had one good attempt left in you.
That's true, I did. I died to the imposter sheep squatch. Still haunts me to this day. Made a groundbreaking discovery when we run. I discovered power armor and how to make it. Well, one type at least, the excavator power armor. And although it has some of the worst defense out of the types of power armor, and it's definitely not the best looking, it is still power armor, so you can't really complain.
And then it was settled. We would obtain a set of this power armor each, no matter what it took. And just like before, we threw ourselves at the game again, with no real strategy, in the hopes of getting it. Rookie mistake. Death, death, death was all that seemed to follow our attempts.
We must have lost 8 or 9 attempts doing this by that point. We did eventually get lucky and obtain plans and get out of there alive, which isn't always an easy task. But we didn't have the materials to make it and eventually died trying.
We took another break and came back to the game. 6 months later. And did anything change? Were we any better at the game? Had those long 6 months honed our skills and made us more patient when playing? Not exactly. Although I don't know about you, Connor, but I did feel like we were getting a lot better than we were before.
Yeah, I thought that as well. We disposed our enemies quickly, had a better sense of what to do and where to go, took precautions that previous us wouldn't think to do. I would definitely say we had gotten better, but clearly not good enough, because we still died 2 more times.
Ah, yes. The first was in Morgantown School. I had done the classic, pick up everything you can find, and pray to God there's a scrap station technique. And in my stupidity, I'd activated a live grenade trap in a locker room. I couldn't run. I couldn't tank the blast. It flat out killed me.
The second was an Arctos Pharma to a legendary projectron no less. We killed it, saw the gold shining corpse and didn't hear any audio cue for it to blow up. I grabbed some garbage 1-star weapon off its body and meant both of us blown sky high. That was it, I thought. That was the run to end all runs. I was done with Fallout 76. But Ewan wasn't. He dragged me back for one last go at Fallout, and I'm so glad he did, because it was on this very run that we beat the game, without dying a single time. But that's a story for another day.
Join us next time for how we survived straight out the vault, our route for the beginning of the game, as well as what to watch out for, making some extra caps, and some notable tips along the way.
But for now, keep surviving, keep thriving, stay safe while driving. This has been No Death Veterans signing off.